Big dog lover, welcome back.
Hi, good afternoon, team. How are you doing? What I'd like to talk to you about today is just the understanding the stereotypes that come with owning big, powerful breeds. You have to be, if you notice that my husband really gave them a cue as to they're not allowed to get out until he signals that. How you introduce a dog to a situation definitely sets them up for success. You want to make sure that you are aware of the surroundings. We are in a public park and we want to make sure that our dogs are ready to go. He's going to give them the signal to let them come out and let them kind of get their bearings and make sure everything's okay. The thing about it is they are big, powerful breeds, but they are animals, they are creatures that are reactive, and as well as you train them, the thing is they can pick up something from another animal or another human being and respond accordingly, and so your otherwise good-natured dog may suddenly be unnerved just by what's happening with. Yeah. Hey, thank you. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, it's such a beautiful day.
It is.
Yeah, this is Rain, the Cane Corso.
I've had 2 of them, so.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I said,
Dog, beautiful.
thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Y'all enjoy. Like I said, typically as big dog owners, we run into people that are either fascinated, like the lady that we just spoke to, or you run into people that are really, really scared because they don't know, they don't understand, and they've heard so many negative stereotypes. So it's very important that you set your dogs up for success, that you are modeling that calm assertiveness, that lets them know that everything is good, we're just out here having a good time. So they're not reacting to your emotions, they're not reacting to the emotions of others, but you're constantly scouting out any signs of danger that may cause them to feel unnerved and cause to react. What we want to do is we want to make sure that they, and even not just the interactions with other people and yourself, but the reactions among themselves. We are very aware that having our 3 dogs and all their different personalities, we are very much aware that they respond to each other as well. They are definitely puppy siblings, and sometimes your brother and sister's been agitating you all day and you just don't really want to be bothered with it. So I think one big stereotype is that because they are bigger, they are somehow more dangerous. Honestly, they definitely have the power. They definitely have the strength to carry out an attack as if they were going to do so. But the reality is they're dogs. They're just here to have a good time. They want to walk. They want to enjoy their life. Dogs very much, no matter what their size, live in the moment. So if everything's good, that's how they're responding. So the thing about it is like what we did, I don't know if you can see it from the film that my husband was shooting. We saw a family to our left and pivoted. So we were setting our dogs up for success. They noticed the family, they're looking around, but we are still exuding that calm assertiveness. We are not amped up, we are not responding. You don't want to yank the leash and draw attention or make them feel like they need to be on alert. A tense leash carries that tension to their neck, which is very, very sensitive and can make them react in a way that you weren't prepared for, weren't wanting them to react. The other thing is whenever we encounter people out and about, we don't know that person's story, we don't know their background, so we don't know how they're gonna react either. And so we always try to err on the side of caution, meaning we let for other people and other animals to ask and invite them in to be part of the interaction, and to make sure that we are setting everybody up for success. One thing about our Rottweiler in particular, she loves attention, but she will suddenly remember that you are not part of her general inner circle, and so sometimes she may be reactive just because it's a different, unfamiliar situation. It's like our little dog here is still the boss. I always laugh because I feel like of the 3 of them, she's probably the meanest. That's our joke within our family. She's probably one of the meanest ones, but I think some of that is she feels like she has to make up for. She lives in a house with dogs that are 8 times her size, and there's 2 of them, so she has to make sure her voice and her needs are known, and we don't forget that she's still here. And plus, she's our OG. She's been here for a long time, and she does not want to give up that position or that role.
Little tiny alpha.
I said, and most of the time, while they recognize that they are, hold on, wait a moment. While they recognize that she's the older one, they still are aware, at least on some level, that she's smaller than them, and we just have to, we're taking a little moment. We have to, you know, protect her from them. Her bravado means she's not backing down. She came to win. She's going to be in their face.
We'll come
But
back later for that, by the way.
yes, but she,
All those people, no criticizing. We'll come back.
we're coming back. So the thing about it is but she can get herself into trouble because they are 8 times her size. If there was an intent to do harm, that could actually happen. So we're very, very mindful of that.
No, pull me.
You know, I think the stereotypes precede them that Rottweilers inherently are not vicious dogs. They're just very powerful dogs because of their size. Cane Corsos are not very vicious dogs. They're just large and powerful. But
See how well he responded to me correcting him with pulling, and see how she's kind of like, yeah, maybe I may do what she asked me to do.
she's not being a very good example of listening to Dad today. So, the other thing about owning big, powerful breeds is, I don't know how many of you have raised children, but they get their own agenda and their own mind in their head, and this is what they want to do. And we still remind them of, you know, we are in control, and our agenda is what matters. No, she's doing great. But the thing about it is, no, my husband is walking both of the larger dogs, and the thing about it is you have to always be mindful of the power dynamics and what's going on, and you have to adjust. It's a lot easier to fix a problem when it's a level 1 versus waiting until it's a level 10, and all he's doing is reminding her that he is directing the flow of the walk, not the dogs.
I'm all wrapped up.
So this is not what we want on a walk, no matter what the size of dog is. Obviously, with a smaller dog, it's a lot easier to correct. If you look at my little dog, she's just standing here beside me like, what's going on next? The recommendation, I know it's definitely a habit that dog owners get into where we wrap the leash around our legs, not around our legs, around our hands. Honestly, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where if they bolt that you could seriously injure your hand. So holding the leash and holding it in such a way where you still have control over the animals, but you're not putting your hand at risk is super, super important. Now that he's taken control, they're a little bit more compliant. I don't know if you saw it on the film just a minute ago, is that she sat and waited for further direction. Typically, when you watch the dog shows and the professional dog trainers, they want the dog's nose to be at your shoulder level or at in line with your shoulder, just so that they are truly, truly 100% taking direction from you. This is more of a casual walk. We're not being quite that big of a stickler, but it does show that element of control, and they're not the ones trying to make life happen. I'm gonna give you another shot of this misdemeanor. So happy to be out and about. So we are walking at a different pace. This is definitely growth for my older dog, is that as a younger dog, she always wanted to be in front of everybody. She had to be the leader of the pack. Now that she's gotten a little older, she's okay with just walking with me. Dad brought the 2 big guys back, but she's okay with walking with me, and that took a lot of correction and training that she did not need to be in front of everybody to be on her walk. I don't know if you've caught it on the film, some other things that we watch for as we're walking. This is a very casual walk, but if you'll notice, when one of the dogs is going to the bathroom, the other one will try to urinate on top of where they just went to the restroom. That can be a display of dominance. So you just have to watch the power play, I mean, not only with the environment, but among the dogs to make sure that we are intervening and de-escalating if necessary. So, my husband was talking about their temperaments. They can be both very headstrong, very stubborn dogs. Rain is typically a little bit more compliant, and then that he will follow leadership when it's exerted. Storm has her moments where she wants to be queen bee. For perspective's sake, in her litter, she was the only girl, and she is so much like her mom. We had the pleasure of spending some time with the mom, and they have very similar personality traits. She's just a little bit larger than her mom is. So, like I said, it's just very important to be aware that with the stereotypes of owning big, powerful dogs, is that people can turn it into a self-fulfilling prophecy, and our goal is to re-educate as many people as we can by showing them these are just larger dogs. This is no different than having a Labrador or something else like that. People are just seemingly less scared of Labradors. They don't have that same reputation.
They're all over the place today.
Yes, very, very casual walk, but even with a casual walk, we are scanning our surrounding. We're making sure that in this park we're aware of any families or people, of what we're doing. And I'm hoping that you guys are finding this information helpful. Maybe share with someone that has a previous history. I am not unsympathetic. I know there are people that have had some serious trauma from interactions with dogs, and we are also very, very mindful of that with our animals. We always, we always ask before we interact, and we ask that other people ask before they interact. And if we still aren't quite sure, we can't with full confidence say based on their mood for the day that this is a good situation. We just let them know that we'd rather they didn't. And you can say that in a polite way. We're like, we just really not having a good day, would rather you didn't. Also, as a big dog owner, we're mindful of the times of day that we bring the dogs out. Sorry, we're trying to catch up to the other pack, the other half of the pack. It is just like when you go places with your human children, our fur babies, we try to make sure that we're picking less busy times because it just reduces the stimulation and the likelihood of a negative interaction. Dogs are very pattern oriented. They learn from patterns, and we want to make sure every opportunity they have is positive and successful so that that's what stays in their memory, and that's how they respond in appropriate situations. Yes, we are coming for where we live. I'm at the end of a very rainy and chilly couple of weeks. So this is one of the first beautiful weekends that we've had, which is part of the reason we're getting out right now. They are super excited. We say no one's let them out in a while. But you notice that there's a lot of intentionality that goes into what we do with our dogs. To the casual observer, it looks like, hey, they're just taking the dogs out for a walk, but there's a lot of pieces that we are considering. Not the least of which is where we go with them and the time of day that we go. We try to pick off-peak times to ensure that we are keeping everything to a manageable level. I know that in a previous video we discussed the heartbreak of your dogs coming down with parvo or other serious illness, and we take that into account when we take our dogs places. If we go somewhere and it just doesn't look clean, it's not a place where people are taking good care of it, we would just prefer to avoid being in that area. So that even though our dogs are vaccinated, we have experience where them being vaccinated did not prevent the illness. And we want to make sure that, get a little bit of water from this thing.
Missy, come here.
So, and even though our dog doesn't realize that she's a small dog, there's oftentimes where we still have to make accommodations for her. She is very noise sensitive. Missy, come here, Mama. Come here, Mama.
He's not gonna
So, and he is in the way. He is such a big little brother. He just likes to get in the way. She'll get her water later on. She's just very sensitive to loud noises. And with what seems to be a little bit of arthritis in her older age, she is sensitive to them being in her space. But they are super happy. They are looking for, they are definitely looking for direction from Dad as to what we're doing next. Took a little pit stop. Typically, the standard is to walk the dog on your left side. Obviously, when you have two dogs at the same time, that can be a little bit challenging. Just so we're still getting that control of everything that's going on. The other challenge of walking with more than one dog is that the leashes like to get entangled. You end up with this leash spaghetti thing that happens. Okay. I'm going to pause for just a moment. I'm going to pass the mic over to husband to add.
As you probably guys follow the channel, or hopefully you follow the channel, we've been doing a lot of shorts lately. I think for several reasons. One is that old girl here, Storm, which I'm not sure if we truly introduced the dogs yet, but Storm has kind of been dealing with some hip issues. I've talked about it on my last video, and we've been trying to pinpoint what's going on with her. As you can probably see, that she's walking fine, she looks great, but she has these moments like she's like an older dog who's dealing with arthritis and she barely can get off the couch. And so we've been trying to see if reducing the amount of walking that she does, if that will make it better for her. It's unfortunate that she's dealing with that because she's such a wonderfully active Rottweiler. I mean, she has a lot of energy. She loves the run. She loves the sprint. That is her thing, right? She came out the womb with that kind of mentality and that kind of drive. You know, the other thing is that unfortunately, our big buddy over here, the Cane Corso, he's still a puppy and he really prefers to be exercising every single day. And so the majority of his exercise comes from his big sister over here playing. And so when she doesn't feel like playing, he ends up being more of a pester and she lashes out, and it does cause some friction. And it's hard to exercise one without the other because she's extremely jealous when it comes to he's getting something that she's not. And so although she's in pain, she still doesn't want to miss out. And so it's really, really complicated to try to get one exercise without the other. And it's okay. That's why we got two dogs that are compatible, because we wanted them to entertain each other and also to kind of grow up together. But it's difficult when one has something that the other one doesn't have, and we have to compensate for that. So he ends up being super bored. She ends up being unhappy because she doesn't get to go out, but when she does go out, she does come back with a little bit of a limp. And so we did talk to our veterinarian, and she's had x-rays and medication's been prescribed and so forth. We'll hopefully talk more about that later and kind of give you a full experience, but I kind of want to see how it played out before we make too much of a snap judgment and put a name to it. I've already kind of put out there hip dysplasia, because Rottweilers can have hip dysplasia, but she's so young. I think she's 3 years old, right, Tennille? Almost 3. This November she'll be 3. So she's really, really young, and to be having that, so I don't want to prematurely give her a diagnosis, but I think that's kind of the direction that we're going. Is that you kind of see us go in and out of the pathway. One of the reasons is because there's another dog coming, and we still are kind of lagging behind with the socialization with other people and other dogs. And so if their behavior is going to be a little bit more unpredictable because we hadn't had time to kind of really flush that out, I'd just rather avoid it for now. And there's been several reasons why that project hasn't been as successful as we wanted it to be. One of the reasons why is because it takes time, lots of time to be able to find people and to set these things up. And we had a wonderful experience with our dog sitter. Her and her husband sat down and let us try to socialize Big Girl here. And that was a wonderful, very successful time. But work has been tough for both of us. And so we spend more time with just kind of being home. Yeah, hours and hours. And so we spend more time just caring for them at home and make sure they get their food, water, interaction, love, the things that we all should be giving our dogs. And also while we're dealing with her hip issue, we're just kind of taking it easy, taking life very, very slow, and then we'll work our way back up to what we were doing before. Did you want to jump in? I couldn't tell. So anyways, I think that's all we have time to talk about today. I think we're just happy to be back with you guys. And I know we've been doing a lot of shorts. Okay, he sees the other dog. That's why he kind of made a little motion there. We've been doing a lot of shorts. So if y'all have time to go look at some of those shorts that we put together, some of it's informative, but for the most part, it's all comedy and fun with these guys and showing off their muscles and showing off their temperaments, and some of it's voiceover, to make everyone laugh, because I would notice
that you would pay attention to their stance, how stiff and attentive they are when you see another dog.
Yeah, I think that posture is important, to pay attention to your dogs, to make sure you read their signs, and it helps with making sure you catch things before they get out of hand. He's definitely got a posture of what's going on, like, oh, what's that? You see something. She's kind of more like, I see it, but I don't really care about it too much. She waits till it's right in her immediate area before she really, responds to it. He's more like, I want to know what's going on way before I see it. Plus, he's bored.
Well, the assessment is true to the breed.
Yeah.
Rottweilers are more of a wait and see.
I agree. Rottweiler is definitely more wait and see, and if you do step across that line, it's on, like Donkey Kong. And anyway, that's all I have to say. We can catch up with you guys a little bit later, and we'll hopefully see more from these guys, especially their shorts, because I love making shorts about you guys. Please go check us out. Give us a like and a subscribe if you want to. If you don't, it's okay. Just enjoy the dogs. And if you're in the market for trying to raise a big dog yourself and you're just looking for some examples of people having fun with their dogs, here we are. We're having fun with our dogs, and we're also sharing as much information as we can about just practical experiences. I'm not Cesar Milan. We don't whisper to the dogs unless we want to. But other than that, we don't have super. Yeah, definitely take advantage of people that are hired to, or that do this for a living, and learn from them as much as you can before you get a big dog. But anyway, enjoy your big dogs, and have a good day.